Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to be working in my Cherry Blossom Altered Book Journal on my 7th spread. And I'm going to start out today by being a little bit different with these pages. They are glued together, and I took time to use some Daniel Smith transparent watercolor ground, and I put a nice light coat on these pages, which will make them very receptive, which will actually almost turn them into watercolor paper. It's something that I don't often bother to do, but I thought I would see what happens again. It's been a while since I have used it. I hold on to it very carefully because of that issue, but I must say it does work. So I'm going to be using finally got my Daniel Smith watercolor palette together, except for an addition of a black and a neutral tint. And here I have two shades that I just particularly love, Purple Lake and another shade of mauve. And here my Holbein Opera and some olive green. These two mixed together make absolutely beautiful complexion colors for faces. So I've gotten out my big, loose, water-filled Princeton Neptune number 4, because I'm not going to put water on first. I'm going to add the water as I put the color onto the page. And I want some density and some depth of color here. So this brush, as you can see from the size of it, does hold quite a bit. I'm going to go up here to my red, add a lot more water to it, and maybe just a touch of yellow. Go back to my red, and let me just add some in spots here and around the page. And now I'm going to move on to another lovely Daniel Smith. Add that over here so that they're kind of touching each other. And of course, if opera is around, I certainly can't resist, so let's have a little opera here. Now I have kind of a plan for this one today, so I'm doing this with a little bit of care. More depth of color on here. I'm going to go down into this corner for a little bit of green. Just color blocking, basically. Now I'm going to try softening the edges here a little bit. Let these colors move out a little more. This out of this fold area here, and if they run together, that will be fine. I think I'll just have a little bit more of this one over here, just as a suggestion. Now I have a few puddles here that I want to eliminate. And I'm going to dry this and then let it settle down after it dries so that the paper will flatten out again. And then we'll see if this experiment that I have in mind is going to do what I want it to do. Now, before I go on to my next step, if you will notice over here on the palette dish, I had some of my opera pink and some of the green, which was not olive green, but you'll notice what happened when these two colors got together. They made this lovely shade, which is very, very conducive. Now, it's not as pretty as if it were olive green, but some complexion coloring in here. As you can see, there's a lot of hope there for complexion coloring, shading. So, on I go. Now, the next step that I'm going to try is to add some resist in white, in my Ceramcoat white acrylic paint, because acrylic is a resist for watercolor, and I thought that I might add some white to this watercolored background, just here and there. I think I'll do this one. And this one. And certainly it's picking up a little bit of the color, but that's okay. We can do that. I think I'll do this one that splits across the page up here. And maybe this large one down here. Let's see what we have. Ah, yes. Move that one over a little bit and come back over on top of it. Good, good, good. And maybe over here, and up here, and here, and here, and this one also. And this one. And this one. Let's see what happens now when we look. Whoops, I need something more right in this family right here. I think I'll just do these. Alrighty. Again, I'm going to dry, make sure this acrylic is nice and dry so that it will resist for the next stage. And now for my next step, I'm using a baby wipe to do some reverse stenciling. I'm doing some color removal. And I don't want these to come down in the same place. I want my color removal to be in a different place. Let's see what we can have happen here. Let's take out some color here. Let's take out color here. And this is helping because I did put that ground for watercolor down. So now it's not going to do anything much to the acrylic bits. Let's see what we can do. I think it's probably time to have a good peek here and see if this is doing what I hope it does. Let's see. Ah, yes. Okay, this one worked very well. Let's get some more over here. And here. I think I'm going to take out some up here too. And if I can't, it'll be because I'm rubbing on acrylic. Yes, alrighty. Let's see if I can't. This certainly does manage to give levels and dimension to the background very nicely. I think I'm going to do the rest of this leaf. Because there was no acrylic there to disturb it. So, isn't that nice? Yes. Maybe a small flower shape right here. Doesn't this just add layers to this background? Right, let's see what happened with this experiment now. We have areas with the acrylic, and then the areas in which color was removed using the baby wipe through the stencil. And here is our ghost leaf and a flower that's I took out on the green. Well, if I get more experienced with the how-tos of this, since this is just my first experiment, this is looking like much fun is to be had. I have to play there, right there, and I'll stop. What will we have here? Nothing too big. Good. Now I'm going to have a think about what is going to happen next, because that is just waiting for something to happen. I'm going to let that dry, this paper flatten out some more, but so far this was great fun, and I'll be doing it again. I hope you do too. Well, as you can see, I've had a good think, and I looked for some collage, and I found this piece, which you can see went in here, and this looks like hydrangea was in a little silver bowl, and so I fussy cut this bit out and eliminated all of the areas on the bowl that was showing, as you can see down here. And then I had this little piece left that was on top of the little thin silver handle, and I had an aha moment, so I cut that one out, and I thought, let's see if I can make this fit around the outside of this leaf, and it does, and oh, that tickled me. So there is that piece, and this one I want to overlap a little bit. Okay. Then I dug into my green drawer, and I found this piece of jelly printed paper that I've had for eons, and I found this particular bit that reminded me of a leaf, and I thought maybe I can stick that in there and make this leaf a little more leafy. And then I noticed that there were some palish pinkish rose colors on here in certain areas, so I took some my pencil and outlined some leaf designs, and there are still two of them here that I'm going to use, and those are the ones that are up here. And so this will let you know the possibilities. You have to kind of, with this collage thing that I just absolutely love, is to see the forest and the trees. There's another one, and that will go up there somewhere, and another. This is such a pretty yellow-green color, and it does come in handy, and I was so tickled when I found this vaguely rose color here and there on here. So that will be up here, wherever. That's mission accomplished. This is going to visit the garbage. And also, while I was doing that, I swatched some of my pens, and it looks like the Le Pens are going to be the best for this, because I think for the first time I'm going to use some colored pens for my doodling. And of course, my new Muji that you must be sick of listening to me talk about it, because I'm completely in love, I admit it. I think the ones that are white gessoed, I'll use Muji, and then the ones that are had the color removed from them, I will use the colored pens. So that's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm going to put down these bits of collage, and I'll be back, and I'll begin to see what I can do here with this selection of pens. Back to my new love, my Muji pen, to just put a very nice light outline on these acrylic ink bits. I'm thinking I better check. Yes, I think that's it. All right, so round one. Now I'm going to think about this this leaf. I'm trying not to completely outline here. Just the suggestion. Make the pointed areas have a little bit more to say for themselves. Maybe now I'm going to have to decide which shade for this red. I'm thinking it's going to be this lighter one. Let's see. One over here. Oops. And two more. Goodness, I almost absolutely did not see those. And pink should work here. It's pink on pink. It's not going to make quite the statement that I thought it would, but this is that nice big one. I shall have to build my own right here. Why not? And I'm thinking, I'm hoping this burgundy will work nicely here. Yes. I think some of this is a figment of my imagination, but that's all right because this is a first for me using colors. And now flowers need some centers. I'm going to work on adding some centers to the rest of these flowers. I'll probably use the Muji for all of them, and I'll be back. Well, this has been a grand experiment and great fun. I'm using a little StazOn olive green on the edges of these papers. The learning and the opening my eyes to possibilities here have been great fun doing. I'm particularly tickled the way the white gesso, no, not the white gesso, but the white acrylic paint, sucked up some of the watercolor from underneath them. So they each took on the color of the area that they were in. The reverse collaging seemed to clean these right down almost to the paper, which was interesting. I had great fun finding this piece of collage and making this fit. Oh, I just thought I was the cat's whiskers when that happened. And using this old piece of jelly print to produce this leaf and these, and they have just the tiniest bit of a pink tinge to them, if you can see the lines. So that was also more collage fun. As I'm sure that you can tell, I'm becoming more and more in love with my collage. I didn't do anything around this because I didn't want to make it, it's a strong focal, and I wanted the eye to kind of stay up here a little bit, and I was afraid that if I did too much around here, it might make the eye travel a little bit too much. So, if you have enjoyed watching this arty experiment, please give me a thumbs up, share with a friend, leave a comment, and I do try to answer them, and I would certainly appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. Bye now.